You think you attract toxic people because you are unlucky? No. Predators do not have a magical radar for the broken. They do not selectively target you out of a crowd. They simply test everyone. You are just the one who passed the test. You think it is a curse. Clinical psychology calls it an echo, and today we are going to look at the blueprint you carry inside you and why your nervous system keeps mistaking danger for home. It happens again. The face is different. The city is different. The job, the style, the charm, all new. But 6 months in, you are sitting on the edge of your bed, staring at your phone, feeling that exact same suffocating drop in your chest. The inconsistency, the coldness, the sudden shift from adoration to annoyance. You ask yourself the question everyone asks when the pattern repeats. Why do I keep finding them? But that is the wrong question. You do not find them. They are everywhere. The real question is, why do they keep staying with you? Watch what happens when Maya meets someone new. Silas is charming, attentive, and intense. For the first 3 weeks, he floods her with presence. Then, on a Tuesday, he vanishes. He cancels their plans at the last minute with a vague, slightly irritable excuse. I'm just overwhelmed. Don't make it a big deal. If he did this to someone with a secure attachment, they would note the disrespect, feel a brief moment of disappointment, and walk away. Their nervous system would process his behavior as a threat to their peace. But watch Maya. She doesn't walk away. She freezes. Then she accommodates. She texts back, I completely understand. Let me know if you need anything. To Silas, this is not just a polite text. This is a green light. It is the exact psychological clearance he was scanning for. Manipulators do not possess supernatural intuition. They cast a wide net. They push a tiny boundary. They drop a subtle insult. They withdraw abruptly, and they watch how you react. If you demand respect, they categorize you as too difficult and move on. If you shrink, if you apologize, if you manage their emotions instead of protecting your own, you have just been selected. But why did Maya shrink? Why didn't she walk away? Because for Maya, Silas's sudden withdrawal did not trigger her self-preservation. It triggered her childhood. This is the echo. Sigmund Freud called it repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to recreate early trauma in an attempt to finally master it. If you were raised in a home where love was conditional, where you had to manage the unpredictable moods of a parent, or where your value was tied to how useful you could be, your nervous system learned a tragic lesson. Love is something you earn by tolerating discomfort. So when Silas pulls away, Maya's body does not say, this is dangerous, leave. Her body says, this is familiar, I know what to do. She shifts into overdrive. She becomes the perfect partner. She anticipates his needs. She suppresses her own voice. She tries to love him so perfectly that he will finally become consistent. She is not trying to win Silas. She is trying to win the love she was denied 20 years ago, using Silas as a proxy. And Silas knows exactly how to use this. He doesn't need to control her with force. He controls her with her own empathy. He weaponizes her urge to heal. Toxic people love the deeply empathetic, not because they admire your kindness, but because your kindness makes you incredibly easy to exploit. You will always give them the benefit of the doubt. You will always look for their hidden wound instead of looking at the knife in their hand. But here is the turning point, the moment the autopsy is complete. When you finally see the echo, the illusion breaks. You stop looking at the person who hurt you as a mastermind, and you see them for what they are, an opportunist who walked through a door you left open. It is a devastating realization. You were not a passive victim of bad luck. You were an active participant in a familiar play. But inside that devastation is the only real power you have. Because if the wound is what invited them in, then healing the wound is what locks them out. You cannot control who knocks on your door, but you control the architecture of the house. You control who gets to sit at the table. You control whether you serve them a meal or point them to the exit. You rewrite the blueprint, not by finding a better partner, but by becoming a person who is no longer hospitable to toxicity. A person who sees a red flag and instead of saying, "I can fix this," says, "I am leaving." But walking away is not simple when you have spent your entire life accommodating other people's pain. Standing up for yourself does not feel empowering. It feels terrifying. It feels cruel. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified, because next up, Episode 8, Why Setting Boundaries Feels Like Betrayal, the villain arc. We are going to look at the massive psychological backlash of finally saying no. Why protecting yourself feels like you are doing something evil, and why you have to be willing to be the villain in their story if you ever want to be the hero of your own. This is the quiet autopsy. I don't judge them, I study them, and I show you the unspoken rules so you stop mistaking patterns for accidents.